it is time finally for Fango Friday. After a sabbatical for a few weeks, we're back. And we're getting closer. Look at this cover. It might not look like it because, again, they're playing it safe, trying to sell you C3PO and R2D2 from The Empire Strikes Back, which is, I mean, this is 1980. When did The Empire Strikes Back come out? 76?
Yeah, it was late 70s. I'd have to look it up.
The movie was old by this point. And, we're getting into some good commentary. So like Vincent Price remembers who?
Empire Strikes Back was 80. So it was around the time.
80?
Yeah.
I thought Return of the Jedi was 80.
No, Return of the Jedi was...
Oh, I guess you're right. Like 82, right?
Return of the Jedi was 83.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But still, look, we've got a feature on Friday the 13th. They should be talking, special Shock FX special, Tom Savini. So there's a lot of horror to cover here. We've officially entered the 80s. This is a golden era. We're about to enter full-on franchise hell with some of these movies like, Friday the 13th and even Halloween a little bit later, Nightmare on Elm Street, all these flicks that define the decade. But they're still dipping their toes in. We're in issue, 6? 6.
Yeah, issue 6.
We still got to sell them. Let's put the little gold robots and stuff on the front and whatever. But I think from here, though, it's getting good. So there's a tribute to Hammer Films as well. Oh, the bonus poster. Nice.
Yeah, that's the centerfold. And I think that this issue came out June 1980, which is kind of late. I mean, because didn't we go from February? Now it's June. So
look up there. It says super anniversary issue. Every other issue for them was a super anniversary.
Oh, so it was a 6th issue. Okay, for the first year, then, right?
I guess, but I mean,
yeah,
I don't know, man. How many? Whatever. Well, let's go ahead and get. What does that say at the bottom? Can you go back? I missed what it said at the bottom.
It said Stephen King Romero.
Yeah, we got dude. The Stephen King stuff we did in the last one was a lot of fun. Where people were talking about that was at the time where they were filming The Shining, and this was before Stephen King had his grudge against Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of his book.
He was curious about the movie,
and he was all excited about it, like, hey, he's a master. I'm like, oh man, it's just so much fun looking at stuff back then, what we know now. But yeah, Romero, this is all good shit, dude. So this is a very horror centric episode. I think let's not let the Star Wars fool us. Let's see what we're in for. Can we zoom in? Did we get that figured out?
Yeah, let me zoom
let's
in
look at the key here. Okay, we got some lingering Family Feud talk over here. Louis Anderson was only interested in getting it over so he could eat chicken. Hey, Louis Anderson turns out was probably doing a lot of hanging out with Paul Lynde of the world. Louis Anderson and both Paul Lynde had no interest in kissing any of the girls. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Imagination Inc., the obligatory anniversary editorial. You can't skip this if you like. I always love the Postal Zone. It's gotten really saucy in the last couple. Because like I said in the last episode, it was a lot of industry write-ins, which may or may not be cheap. You had Angus Scrimm and you had Don Coscarelli writing in about them covering Phantasm, which is kind of cool. But then they had a Jim Wynorski write in before he was Jim Wynorski, which is kind of fun, and he was sandbagging talking their issues up to that point. Let's see here. So we can't get to that. We can't wait to get to that. 8, we have the cover story, C3PO from the inside. That sounds
you'd
sexual.
Like to get inside a C3PO.
Yeah. Anthony Daniels supplies the robot's eye view of the making of Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. I guess that's pretty cool. If this is the year Empire came out, I've never been a Star Wars guy, but that's probably really fascinating for a lot of people that are. Page 10, we got Shock FX special. Rob Bottin, Out of the Fog.
Bottin,
that's what I meant. Roddy, I was thinking about Faith No More, Roddy Bottom. Rod Bottom. Faith No More, the keyboardist of Faith No More. His name is Roddy Bottom, and he's the openly gay guy. He's fucking hilarious. He would have a gimp with him on stage on a leash, dude.
He'd have Louis Anderson with him.
All right. Anyway. All right. Yeah. So Rob Bottin, in the Fog, Tom Savini, and the Man with Many Parts. The Man of Many Parts. Okay. Makes him sound like a hermaphrodite. Maybe he is.
Who knows? To each their own.
Yeah. That's exactly the point. He's got 2 of each for his own. One of each. The Changeling. Ooh.
Wow. This is a good issue.
Peter Medak, director of The Ruling Class, and Joe Egg discusses his first excursion into the realm of the supernatural.
So good.
Yeah. Changeling is one of the all-time greats. And, he's a guy that I don't really think did anything else of note after that, but he's just an example of a guy that has a perfect film. And it also reminds me of, gosh, who else is like that? The guy that directed Midnight Run. Have you guys ever seen that with Charles Grodin and Robert De Niro?
I haven't seen it, no.
That guy went on to do like nothing else. A couple of shitty movies that never went anywhere. But man, if that is not a fucking near perfect movie. I love that though. I love those like movies, those guys that just came out and had lightning. They struck it once. Checked out. So Friday 13th as well, page 14. It's the day for terror as the producer of Last House on the Left returns with another feast of fear. Quatermass saga as Professor Q reaches its conclusion. Author Nigel Neal and director Val Guest comment on the making of the Quatermass trilogy. Never seen it. 22 Vincent Price, The Corman Years, Part 1. That'll be cool. Like I said, if they're going to do these retrospective shit, look back, I'm not against that. At least it's horror now, because they were doing it like on like sci-fi shit, So now we're getting good. Stephen King, page 26, and George Romero, a collaboration in terror. Oh, so we're talking about the two monarchs of menace offer a glimpse at their plans for the eerie 80s. Or are they going to like reminisce about Night Riders, because they would have just been recently off of Night Riders?
Who knows? We'll see.
All right, 28, the Apes of Wrath, because you asked for it. An introduction to the 60s sci-fi phenomenon, the Planet of the Apes. No, we'll breeze by it. I respect the Planet of the Apes, dude.
No, it's not bad, but
Through the Halls of Hammer. They like talking about Hammer a lot in these early issues. A concise history of the 60s leading horror studio. All right, bound in bonus poster, our tribute to Hammer Films. 45, Caroline conquers the Colonies.
Carolyn Monroe. There you go.
Let's see here. Fantasy Films Femme Fatale returns with news of her newest film role. Hell yeah, show us.
Was that Maniac?
Who's that? That looks like the guy that be hunting them Smurfs, dude. Who's that dude with a cloak?
Count Fangor.
He looks like the dude from the Smurfs, man. Yeah. Howard Crypt Kicker Cruz with the first adventure of Fangoria's fun-loving friend beats the monsters. Okay, I don't know what they're saying. American Mortuary Monthly, whatever. 58 fantastic art from Bigfoot to Tolkien, Doug Beekman, and a fantasy artist of all time. Okay. 62 Monster Invasion. Carpenter's next. Ding, ding, ding. Sheena swings again, and the Vengeance Trail of Mad Max. It's getting a little exciting now. We're getting into some like landmark films, because the first couple of issues, they were talking about like old shit. And now we're like really covering more and more
this
films.
Is like the first good issue here.
Like they're covering landmark films that are classics today. I mean, they did a little bit of that with like Alien and stuff, but all right. Can you zoom in on this? I'm going to read this. I want to read what they're talking about with their first full year with this. Yeah, let's go up a little bit.
Anniversary.
Yeah, I want to read it. I want to skim that. Can you go up just a little bit more? Like one more tick?
Yeah, let me get
one more tick. You can't just hit the plus. Okay, that's all right. That's fine. All right, anniversary one full year. How has it really been that long? In this cobweb corner of the basement where eternity often comes disguised as a lunch hour, and a month can flit by in as few as 28 days. What the fuck is he saying? It's impossible to be sure, though it does seem likely. I'm having a stroke over here. It was actually a year and a half ago that I first joined Starlog press staff. At the time, Fangoria was no more than a gleam in the eyes of Kerry O'Quinn and Norman Jacobs. In 1976, these men had launched Starlog magazine, the first national publication to treat film and TV science fiction with the respect it deserves. Now that we're getting ready to spring another surprise on an unsuspecting public, a magazine devoted to the worlds of terror and fantasy, produced with the same qualities that have made Starlog an international success. I'm going to skim this. I'm going to go down here. In order to make the anniversary a memorable occasion, we've revisited 3 of the personalities who have generated the most positive response from our readers. Tom Savini, makeup master of The Crimson Effect, Caroline Monroe, Fantasy Films Femme Fatale, and Stephen King, Pros, terrorist, extreme. Terrorist? Choose your words differently. But anyway.
Wow.
Terrorist Supreme, Stephen King.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is a pre 9/11 world. Also, in the Planet of the Apes, George Romero, Quatermass, Vincent Price, in the first installment of our History of Hammer series, yada yada. So yeah, they're trying to make it a good year anniversary. So maybe if this is the first really good issue, then we'll know 1 year into it.
It's been 1 year.
Okay. So let's go to the Postal Zone. I'm gonna take a question here. Look at that. Yay, it does matter, Robert. Hello, guys. I'm back. Not that it matters. Let me guess. The wife fell asleep. I've been there.
Hey, yeah.
You'll hear about it all the time. You'll hear about it in the morning.
No, but she doesn't know.
But the night is yours.
Yeah.
You'll hear. Oh, I hear about it in the morning. Like you never came to bed. Like you were asleep when I got there.
Hey, well, I sleep in separate beds because my kids sleep with my wife a lot of the time. So.
All right. So let's see. There was a period from about 85 to 95 when Star Wars was dead. And if you liked it, you were the dorkiest loser that ever lived, according to the mainstream. But was in the war of Star Trek versus Star Wars, I don't like any of it. So I don't really have a dog in the fight. But from my outsider's perspective, I always felt Trekkies were even worse.
Yeah, I think Trekkies were looked down upon more. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Like because Star Wars had at one point a mainstream appeal. So I feel like there were still those old heads lingering around in this decade you're talking about that, had childhood memories of Star Wars. Sure. Whereas like I feel like that blew everybody's mind, where like Star Trek was never at any point cool. But I could be wrong.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
Just my perspective. Well, I mean, it bombed after like a season or two. It wasn't. But anyway, not sure how Lucas resurrected it with some of the most terrible movies ever made. Guys, okay, I wasn't a Star Wars fan, never was. And I remember when Phantom Menace was coming out, it was a huge deal. Yeah, it was a huge deal for dads of the people our age now then.
I'm not a fan of that shit.
But I'm saying like the people that were like in their 30s and 40s. Oh, when Phantom Menace was coming out. Yeah, it was a huge deal. I mean, that movie was selling out pre-sales. People were lining up back then. That was like going online and securing your tickets. And my childhood best friend, the guy I shit all over his house, his whole family was a huge Star Wars family. His dad was a massive dork and a massive Star Wars fan, and of course his kids were too. They grew up with or whatever. And he pre-bought those tickets when they went on sale months in advance for him and his kid to go see Star Wars Phantom Menace. And I don't fucking know anything about this. My buddy Ben invited me to have a sleepover that weekend, which is probably his fault. Like you kind of put your dad in this situation. I had fucking no clue what was happening. And my friend asked me if I wanted to go see Star Wars. He had 2 tickets. I'm like, I mean, I guess. I mean, if that's what you want to do before we go to his house and chill. And his dad drove us. And then I find out on the way there that his dad gave me his ticket. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, God, you fucking your dad. I don't even like this movie. And I went there and I fucking slept the whole time. I fell asleep.
Yeah, I went with my mom, and she wasn't like a big Star Wars fan, but I was really big into Star Wars at the time. So it was like one of the only films I saw with my mom in the theater. So
did she enjoy it?
No, I'm sure she didn't.
I remember really zoning out in that movie with the pod racing and shit. It was so boring.
I wasn't even that big of a fan of it. I was like, eh.
But I do remember I enjoyed the fight with Darth Maul, the 3-way lightsaber battle. And they chopped him in half, and he felt like, okay, cool, some action. This is cool.
Yeah, Darth Maul was cool, I thought.
And the sword fighting, right? Like basically it's sword fighting. That stuff's kind of cool. Can it just be all that? It should be all that stuff. Pod racing, space politics. I don't want to Samuel Jackson. I don't want to see any of this stuff in Star Wars. Yeah. None of them belong in space, by the way. All right. Trekkies were nerds. Star Wars fans were geeks. Different tribes.
That's true.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. They were like elitists. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's like anything else where somebody thinks they're cool, but they're all fucking dorks, dude. I mean, I'm that way about some stuff.
Oh, we're completely dorks. I mean,
I think I'm elitist about this. Like, oh, you like that? You don't like that? Like, clearly, Megadeth is not the superior. I mean, we're all fucking going to sleep with ourselves at night at the end of the day. Fuck shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're all fucking this. You know, that's what it's like growing up. Let's see. Alpha, growing up, Star Wars was for kids and Star Trek was for adults. Never liked either of them.
That makes sense.
Well,
yeah.
Star Trek predated Star Wars by a bit,
Yeah.
right? So yeah. Robert, I was always a Star Wars person over a Star Trek person, but nowadays it's all crap, so I don't care. Good job, Hollywood. You destroyed Icon.
I'd rather watch Star Trek now than Star Wars. Now they're getting older, so maybe, yeah.
Mutineer, did I properly say hi to you, Mutineer? I don't think we did. I apologize if I didn't really acknowledge you, but obviously nerds turned out to be totally evil, and we are now living in the true revenge of the nerds. Well, it's like what Screech said on Saved by the Bell. Like we'll have all the money. Like, you know, talking about like them getting picked on, that getting the babes
took over, man.
Yeah, the nerds were going to take over 100%. And yeah, let's see. The mall fight was the only good part, and they even ruined that a little bit. Nerds are the ones who rule the world now. Exactly, dude. Break me off a piece. Hey, I never made fun of nerd. I'm cool there. Break me off a piece of that money, Elon. Jeez, help me out.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, so let's go in. Is this where it starts? This is the Postal Zone. Okay, gotta record. Okay, you could.
You don't have to go through everything, so just go through.
No, I'm gonna go through.
Okay.
Look, if we want to write into the Postal Zone, the address is right there. They can't promise they're going to print it, but they'll at least read it. So everybody, mail Fangoria Postal Zone at 475 Park Avenue South, 8th floor suite, New York, 10016. If their mayor will still allow it. The Wonderful Wizard. Enjoyed your article on Herschel Lewis in Fango 4. I've never admired Mr. Lewis's works, but I'm glad to see such a piece in your magazine for a couple of reasons. First, I find the low-budget horror films can be a lot of fun when viewed with a lighthearted attitude. Second, I think it is Fangoria's credit to present such a wide range of topics as those in issue 4. A magazine that can present articles on such varied topics as Curse of the Demon, Salem's Lot, Mr. Lewis's gore films, and Japan's Warriors Robots is a fascinating and fun magazine. Dave Billman. They responded, "We're glad that you and so many others appreciate our efforts to depart from the beaten path, and we think that the biggest surprises have yet to come." All right, scroll down just a tad. Reluctant fan. Is it cut off? Yeah, it does. Reluctant fan. Fangoria poses a rather difficult problem for me every time I see an issue in the bookstore I frequent. I try to pass it by. Certainly there should be something I could spend the $1.95 on instead of your magazine. But no, each time I look at an issue, I find at least one or two articles inside that compel me to buy it. In fact, issue 4 practically leaped off the rack at my throat. An article on Herschel Gordon Lewis, photos of Caroline Monroe, interviews with Don Siegel and Dana Andrews. I guess I can't avoid it. Fangoria is always going to have something in it that I have to read. I wonder how he feels today in 2025. Eating your words, my friend. By the way, on page 65, books, I noted an error, probably foisted off on you by the publishers of the Stoker novel, The Jewel and the Seven Stars. This novel has been published in American paperback before, the 1968 Tower paperback entitled Dracula's Curse, and The Jewel of the Seven Stars, which included the short Dracula story, 19 pages long, and the entire Stoker novel. Also, there was a previous film version, Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, Hammer Films, David Wera. SFX career. My son is interested in a career in special effects. Is there any school we can attend after completing high school that would prepare him for the field?
Tom Savini School.
I don't know if it existed at the time, did it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right, the answer. Most SFX technicians we've met have begun by teaching themselves and after acquiring some basic skills by working with SFX experts in the field. An SFX career requires a tremendous dedication and lots of hard work in every phase, especially in that period of self-education. The best teaching tool we know of for SFX beginner is one of our sister publications, Cinemagic magazine. See ad on page 30. Oh, well, I'm glad they answered that question so great for him. Hey, where can I go? Like, well, we don't know. Start learning yourself, and then just start learning and working with the leading experts in the field. So I want to be a good guitar player. Just go fucking hang out
Start playing. Yeah,
no. Just look. Just pick it up, fair enough, but then go hang out with John Petrucci on tour and learn from him. Like, all right, that's what I'll do. But now they do have schools and whatnot. Hungry for Hammer. That sounds sexual. You will certainly be remiss if you do not cover the world's finest horror factory, Hammer Films. Hammer's product, never revived in New York City, has fallen into disrepute, butchered beyond all recognition and infrequent TV showings. Let's stir up some interest in the re-releases, or at least honor the beloved departed. As regards to your lovely magazine, good color, good coverage, nice general audience appeal. Can we perhaps see some coverage and behind the scenes photos of Disney, Fleischer, non-horror film fantasies like Here Comes Mr. Jordan, and little known gems like The Man Who Laughs? Yeah, no, I know a John Scott. All right. And this guy responds, your letter provides us with the opportunity to announce the beginning of our series of Hammer retrospectives, starting with the capsule history of House of Horror and our special tribute poster beginning on page 31. Enjoy. Great. Toot. This guy farted. I just purchased a copy of Al Taylor's Making a Monster, and I barely started flipping through it when I realized that this was something great. After a closer examination, I found it to be the best book of its kind and that I had ever seen. To me, the most fascinating side of SF is makeup, since its involvement in the human element. Go up. It's still compelling. It's like you mentioned in your book column that you resisted listing a book authored by your staff member, but I say don't be afraid to blow your own horn when you deserve it. They respond, everyone who's seen the book agrees that Al and Sue Roy deserve a lot of credit. We've also heard a lot of good things about Distortion's line of quality, full blah, 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 blah. Okay, go down. Last one. I got to say, they kind of spoiled us last time with the write-ins from the industry folks. I kind of liked it. This is just fans. That's boring. Come on. All right. I enjoyed I'm hoping we'll come across another like famous guy. That's like that wasn't famous. That was a real treat. I enjoyed your article on the very, very sexy Caroline. Sorry. Robin showed me the tattoo. It was very sexy. Robin showed her tattoo. Okay. It's just Skin Steven. Wow. What a turn on. This guy needs to take care of himself. I became a fan of hers from the Golden Voyage of Sinbad, but it wasn't until I read your article and saw the photos that I realized how marvelously attractive she is. I was so enthralled that I sat down with the bottle of lotion. Now I sat down and did a drawing based on the photo that you ran. A drawing. Okay. I decided to send her a letter and a copy of the drawing.
Wow.
Enclosed is a copy for you to see. Keep up the good work on Fang and keep Miss Monroe ready for another article. I'm looking forward to it. It's a good artist.
Yeah, that is a good artist.
All right. Then look forward to page 46, he says, in the next full month's feature article on Monroe's new film, Maniac.
Oh, nice.
Last one. Sorry, Mark, your feature on Star Trek, the motion picture was great, but I did spot an error. You mentioned that Mark Leonard, who is a Klingon. Oh, God. These guys are the worst. The Star Trek correctors, dude. You mentioned he was a Klingon, but really, what's it say? Oh, there's a lot of fucking write-ins. Shit. There's 2 pages of write-ins. There's usually one. He was a Klingon captain in the movie, appeared in the Star Trek episode Amok Time. This is wrong. He appeared in the episodes Balance of Terror and Journey to Babel. And they say, hope we didn't upset any of you Vulcans. You know how emotional you guys get. That's pretty funny, actually. That's pretty funny. Alienated Trekker. Oh, God, so much Trekkie shit. The alien races of the Federation. You got to zoom in a little bit more. Can you mind? Just a little bit. Yeah, Satan. Herschel Gordon Lewis is not really my thing either. I respect him 100%.
Yeah.
But not a lot of substance there. You know, it's all style and shock. Let's see. Okay, the alien races of the Federation. Now a common visible presence, you say? Anyway, that's what I read in Fangoria 4. Actually, I must have blinked once or twice because their common presence was not apparent in this viewer's eyes. I guess it's safe to say, safe to assume that you've not yet seen the film and now appropriately apologetic about the statement. At any rate, please tell Paramount for me not to bother with any Trek sequels unless they include those immortal lines. Phasers on stun, and he's dead, Jim. You guys need to. We're purging these Trekkies. I feel like this is like the afterbirth. Like there's they're
This is the end
lingering.
of an era for the Trekkies.
They're lingering from the previous couple issues that they're writing about, right? Like maybe they're gonna stop writing here soon, hopefully. Oldies or goodies? I strongly disagree with the letter writer in Fango 3 who stated that there should be more material in your magazine about current movies and less about classic films of the past. With few exceptions, like Phantasm, all of the recent horror and monster movies I've seen have been insulting and of low mentality. I also have a suggestion. Why not compile a list of all the monster movies ever made? I'm sure most readers would enjoy it. Wow, I guess it just goes to show it's all about time, place, and
Everybody
circumstance.
bitches about the new shit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you come from because people didn't know what they had, dude. These people are in the era of Alien, Halloween. The Thing is coming.
Everything, man.
It's just, dude, they're eating good and they don't even realize. And this is a glory, dude. I would have killed to have gone to the cinema back then.
Oh yeah,
it was an event every night of the week, and you've seen some of those marquees that people post, like flashback photos, and it's like every film playing at a time at a local Cineplex is just a fucking stone cold classic on the same week. We could have seen a movie every day of the week and just been blown away, sucking it all in. And yeah, I guess you're just there's always going to be hipsters. It's crazy. All right. Big Monkey. Wait, sorry. Okay, sorry. They responded to that guy. The late lamented fantasy film mag Castle of Frankenstein attempted just such a catalog of fantastic films back in the 60s. It did not continue on in the newsstands long enough to complete the project. We'd probably enjoy tackling just such a task, but then when would we find time to put out this magazine? So it might have been possible in 1980. It's kind of like how it would have been. It was possible to collect every NES cartridge that ever been made, but it's virtually impossible to collect every game made now because there's so many shitty indie studios. There's so much shovelware people put on the fucking digital store. You can't collect everything now. It's impossible. You can't play everything now. So like, it's the same way with like people in movies. Technology's gotten to a place where everybody could feasibly get some sort of recording device, get some sort of level of gear, and make some shitty film and get it on Tubi, or Amazon or something like that. It's not that hard. And so they would never be able to compile this list today. Big Monkey Man, I must congratulate you on the presentation of the great animated Apes, Fango 4 and 5. Mr. Mandel must be a real fan of the great researcher. However, I challenge Mr. Mandel to find something on Mrs. Kong. If there was a son, there had to have been a female ape, or maybe he's half dinosaur. Wilfred Pennington, you have a lot of time in your hands, dude. Yes. Certainly a challenge to tax Mr. Mandel's talents. We hope he takes you up on it. This issue, Paul takes a much needed rest while he recovers from the recent bout with the flu. Next month, Great Animated Apes will conclude with the inside story of Mighty Joe Young. How could we, in the Richard Matheson fantasy filmography, Fango 3, the following mistake on page 50? The entry, I'm going to skip that one. Fuck you.
Yeah.
We need to go down. This is fantasy bullshit. Go up to the one up there on the top right. Saturn 3 minus 15. Well, actually, I still want to watch Saturn 3. On page 9 of your article on Saturn 3, there was 5 pictures. In one of these pictures, Kirk Douglas is cutting Harvey Keitel's throat in what you would call the Blue Dreamers murder sequence. I've seen the movie twice, and there is no such scene. Was it cut from the film? I always like scenes like that. I always liked, I hated it. It's fascinating, rather. They'd sell you a scene in a trailer or an ad, and it wasn't there, dude.
All the time, yeah.
And sometimes, obviously, it's cut footage that didn't make the final product. Obviously, it served a purpose in a trailer. But sometimes I'm convinced. The worst thing is when they legit shoehorn shit in a movie for a trailer, and it makes me think about what's that new movie, A Working Man with Jason Statham? It's David Ayer.
It was just like that.
No, they did that. They pulled that shit. I'll tell you why. So David Ayer and Jason Statham, they did The Beekeeper, which I enjoyed.
Yeah,
then they did
great.
Then they did The Working Man. It's not so great. And it's kind of more the same, just not very good. It's like a 5 out of 10. Anyway, there's a scene in that trailer, and when I heard that scene, I'm like, oh God, they did this specifically for the trailer. And it's like when they're under like gunfire and Jason Statham's saving the girl, she gets kidnapped and she's like, they're dodging bullets and she goes, this is nothing like Fortnite.
Oh my god!
And that's in the trailer. And I'm like,
terrible.
That's a trailer line.
Yeah.
That is something they did just for the fucking trailer. And it sucks.
Wow.
But and as far as like stuff that doesn't actually make the film, because that wasn't the film, sadly. But stuff that doesn't make the film is like the most famous example from our youth is Corky Romano. Yo, guys, want some cookies?
Which I think that movie's funny. I know you give me shit for that all the time, but I like that movie.
But that take wasn't in the final film.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's all everybody remembers about that film. Yo, guys, want some cookies? It was so memorable in the trailer. And then everybody went, and I remember people at school were like, oh, I want to go see Corky Romano. It looks so funny. It's got that mango guy. Yeah, I want some cookies. Everybody's doing it. And then people come, I'm going to the theater and seeing that, but like, not only did you not say, y'all guys want some cookies, nothing was funny in that movie. But
well, it's kind of like not turtly enough for the Turtle Club.
Oh,
that was the only good funny part in the movie.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah,
not turtly enough for the Turtle Club. No, it's 100%. They put the funny one joke in there, and they did the trailer.
The rest of the shit.
Yeah. Let's see here. That Don Postmass 1001 goes for big money. Where's it at? Is it that Dracula? Ooh,
yeah,
it looks fucking sweet.
Yeah, dude, that looks sweet.
Mutineer, I wonder if Mike Stuckalasa ever wrote in from Red Letter Media. Yeah, he's a Trekkie dude. Hey, what's up, Wild Wrangler? Did we say hi to you yet?
Hey, what's up,
this
brother?
Is great. Yeah, man, we do these Fango Fridays. Supposed to do them every week. Halloween got in the way, but
yeah,
Fridays is Fango Friday day. We're trying to go through every issue of the classic era Fangoria magazine. So that would be all the way up until they went belly up and before they got bought up by whatever the fuck.
Who knows?
Bottom now, it's taking it to the toilet. But
yeah.
Anyway, so we're excited to do all this stuff. We're in the humble beginnings right now. The first 5 issues, especially, where we're still kind of transitioning from Starlog, very sci-fi, but now we're in the 80s, baby. So it's going to get good.
Yep.
All right. Go down. Oh, wait, sorry. No, don't go down. They did respond. Saturn III's distributor originally announced the running time of the film as 97 minutes. According to Count Fangor's pocket watch, the film ran for 80 minutes. Among the omitted scenes were, number one, after taking the Blue Dreamers, Adam and Alex imagined that Adam was murdered Major James. Number two, when Alex decides she wants to return to Earth, she tries on a scanty Earth outfit. And 3, after removing the Major's hand, Hector dismembers him part by part in imitation of the way Hector was earlier dismembered. According to the distributor, all these changes were made in order to smooth out the storyline. But they still used them for trailers and ads and stuff like that. And I got to say, though, a little less spoilery. This is a new movie at the time. Why are they giving us like these plot details?
Yeah, I still want to see this.
But this movie was new at the time, too. It's like, why you guys... I do want to see it. I almost bought it. I think it was like really cheap on that Shout Factory sale.
Oh, I didn't know they put it out.
Yeah, I didn't notice it till after I had already done my order, and I got the free shipping. I think it was like fucking like $5, $4. It was nothing. And I was like, God, I would have added this on, but I wasn't willing to pay like $5 in shipping for a $4.
Sure.
So they ruined it. The whole truth. I've just seen the black hole, and it's not all it's been cracked up to be. But the maps and the SFX were great. However, that's not what I'm writing to you about. I've heard a rumor about there being a black hole too. If so, when will it be out? Why do you give a shit if you just saw the first one and didn't like it?
Nice.
What a weird fucking question, Paul McConnell. Are you Mitch McConnell's?
Yeah, it's probably Mitch McConnell's
brother,
kid, dude.
His kid. Yeah, I guess he was like 500 years old, so this probably is his kid in 1980. Before I went to see the black hole, I read PB Bean's article in the construction of the robots, and it certainly helped me to appreciate the work that went into the making of Maximilian, Old Bob, and Vincent Come Alive. And if I'm not mistaken, the voices of Vincent and Bob were none other than Roddy McDowell and Slim Pickens. Mitchell B. Craig. You guys are disappointing me. Okay, we're done with this. Good. Get it.
Yeah.
You guys ruined it for me with last issue, guys. Last issues was writing awesome.
Yeah,
but I have to say though, I only expect the write-ins to get better once they start covering. They're going to start when the issues get better. They're going to start writing off of the good issues.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to heavily what people think early on about Friday 13th when it's brand new. How many people are going to be like, God, this is fucking Halloween, fucking rip off. I can't wait. Or to see the people that are like, oh, it's so much better than Halloween. Or I want to see what people thought about Nightmare on Elm Street when just the original was out when it first came out. My parents went and saw it at the drive-in, and they said it scared the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Before it became a cartoon. All right, guys, C-3PO from the inside. I'm not going to read all this.
No,
Let's kind of
no,
like
no.
zoom in. Let's look at this. Is there any like buzzwords I can see? I got to drink some fucking... Oh my, just lost my cup holder, dude. Yep, that's C-3PO.
Yeah.
The plaster will stick to you, won't it? Yep, the real Tony Daniels on the set of The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, Satan, C-3PO, blah.
100%.
Blah.
Oh,
all right, Rob Bottin out of the fog. This is what we want.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I love the fog.
What'd you say? You like to suck hog? What'd you say?
Yeah, and I like the fog too.
All right, so sorry, I gotta wet my whistle, guys. It's tough reading.
Go for it, man.
I love reading though. I want to be a narrator. I always wanted to be the narrator.
Hey, Jim Wynorski.
Oh, he got to write an article. Interesting. So on the last issue, he was definitely writing in as a fan.
The last issue was what? November, December, and this is June.
So he definitely wrote in as a fan because he was shitting on it.
Yeah.
He was saying, hey guys, this is a disappointment.
So they're probably like, okay, so what can we do better, Jim?
He probably wrote in and they probably gave him a freelance job. Wow. Yeah. How cool is that? That's pretty
crazy, man.
Pretty damn. Jim Wynorski is not hard to get a hold of, and he's obtainable to talk to.
Yeah.
I wish he was here. Like, we should compile these issues.
Yeah,
and remember him.
I'd love to talk to him.
And if we talk to him, we can reference him.
Yeah.
But what was I saying before you pointed that out? Oh, I was saying I was inspired. I used to watch what's it called? The Winnie the Pooh. Not Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. What the fuck is the original Disney? I'm getting tired, guys. Whatever. With the narrator reading the book, and I'm like, I always wanted to be the narrator, so I like talking. Anyway,
Christopher Robin. Yeah.
No, it wasn't Christopher Robin. There was a narrator reading the book. Anyway, all right. So let's see. C-3PO was the most realistic character in the movie. I like the fog. I have the Steelbook. Good man.
Yes.
Do you have the Steelbook of the fog?
I
got that on Steelbook.
I think I just have the 4K.
Well, I got the 4K Steelbook. That one
I just have the regular 4K.
It is a beautiful Steelbook. I like that.
It's a very nice artwork.
Everyone thinks they would be Luke. Nah, they would have C-3PO more. They would have been C-3PO more than likely.
Probably.
Do you think that guy? Okay, my question about C-3PO and the guy, mainly the guy in the costume. You know, he ripped ass in that costume. And do you know? Did he make himself vomit, dude?
Oh, I would.
Like, that's what I think about when I like see these like Knights of the Round dude walking around the fucking armor and shit like that. They fucking just like gas
like water power, dude. Yeah,
it's fucking gross. Whenever I see like scantily like these women that are all sexy and they're wearing like a skin type leather rubber suit, like they're farting and bubbles are going up their back. I know it.
Oh yeah.
It's just like these are the things that I chew on. All right, so Rob Bottin out of the fog. Rick Baker's youthful apprentice makes his own rep as an on-screen fiend, off-screen FX artist by Jim Wynorski. You're gonna have to. Can you zoom in on this?
Sure.
Yeah, not Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. R2D2 is the hero of the first trilogy. Without him, it would have all gone to crap. Let's see. The fog was good until the end. Somehow it always deflates the movie.
Wow, I love the end. I love the whole movie.
It's a great. I love it. Wild Wrangler watched Halloween 78 and The Fog 80 on Halloween night this year. Perfect.
Great double feature there.
Yeah, a little tired of Halloween. I need to wait a few years. I need to rewatch The Fog. Yeah, have you guys ever seen the remake? I've never wanted to watch that.
I never watched the remake. No,
I had no desire. That's just like why? What's the point of that one?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and read this. There's a small home in El Monte, California, that's earning the deserved reputation of the scariest house in town. You can. This isn't that big of a piece. You can probably zoom it in more. Just two little paragraphs.
Yeah.
I usually like deal with it to a certain degree so I can see more text, but yeah, there we go. All right, it's the residence of the masterful monster maker Rob Bottin, the former apprentice to makeup whiz Rick Baker, who has now struck off on his own up-and-coming career in the world of fantasy films. It's just the last several years, Bottin's grotesque creations have been on view in such diverse productions as Star Wars, De Laurentiis' King Kong, Piranha, The Fury, and The Incredible Melting Man. Upcoming are such fascinating and intriguing titles as Tanya's Island, Beneath the Darkness, The Howling, and his latest effort, The Fog, for director John Carpenter. One gets a feeling upon entering Bottin's modest abode that reality has suddenly given way to the wild world of the Twilight Zone. In one corner, there's a giant 400-pound white rat sitting up against the wall. In another nook nests a partially rotting corpse, and inhabiting the porch area is a scaly green body of a slimy sea creature. Only the careful observer will notice that the shadowy hulking form sprawled out on the living room couch is actually Bottin himself. Now, into his second day without a wink of sleep, I've got to stay awake for at least 5 more hours, he states wearily during a brief respite from sculpting and molding. I'm doing a picture for Roger Corman's New World Productions at the moment, and any delay. Next page.
Well, 46.
Oh, shit. We got to continue on 46. We'll continue. I want to go in order of pages. I actually do. We'll get back there. Oh, but Savini, a man of many parts. All right. So Romero's master of the Crimson Effect continues to explore the outer reaches of shock. By the way, guys, do you guys know why print publications would do that? They would break up the monotony. Like, oh, I get it. They want you to read more of the magazine and give more of the features a fair chance. That's my only guess. But why would they break them up and be like, hey, this will continue later. Now let's start this one.
Yeah, that's a good question.
For someone like me, I would rather just read everything and I'll get to the rest of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I bought the magazine. I'm going to like go through it. I'm going to thumb through it all. That was me. But that had to have been their thing. All right, Tom Savini's compact athlete body. I think of Savini now, but I guess he did, like in Knight Riders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like it sprawls across the sofa in Midtown Manhattan apartment. What is with all these fuckers, all these makeup guys sprawling across their sofas? Bottin was doing the same thing a minute ago. It's the bright afternoon of winter Sunday, but for Savini, it's the tail end of a marathon session, spending 30 sleepless hours working on a single effect sequence for Maniac, his third film assignment since Dawn of the Dead. Wait, let me do a Savini accent. Oh, I can't. I practically grew up I can't do it. Oh, whatever. I practically grew up in a movie theater, says Savini, recalling his Pittsburgh childhood. The only time I was ever home was when my dad would come up to the movie theater, take me out of there and take me home. And when I didn't have any ticket money, when I didn't have the ticket money. So my dream was to be a movie star, like the lovely people up on the screen. Go down a little bit. I've been acting since grade school. I love it. The fantasy of it, the idea of it on a single stage. You could be anywhere in the universe, be anybody, depending on the play and the playwright. There's something about acting when you're playing opposite someone, when he becomes Ralph Waldo Emerson and you're Thoreau. There are times when you're in so deep, you get tingles in your fingers. Sorry. Oh yeah. Look at this. Look at the propeller zombie that got banned.
Zombie, you got Martin.
You didn't even get to see the propeller zombie in the Canadian version, right?
Yeah, that was cut.
We had a guy writing in that was talking about all the shit that was cut. It was like all the best stuff. Like, God dang. Yep, and you got Martin there. The Changeling. Get a drink here. I love the Changeling. Has everybody in the chat seen the Changeling?
If you haven't, you need to watch it. It's one of the best.
I'm gonna read a couple of questions here so I can give my throat a rest. All right, Todd, you read a question.
Sure. Let's see here.
Mutineer's up.
I
pulled it up. It's just how they did it back then. It took the 90s to bring authenticity into style. Authenticity. Even if a lot of it was fake authenticity.
Yeah,
it's not a damn newspaper. Why were they doing that, dude?
I don't know. It jumped around way too much. It did happen quite a bit in a lot of these magazines. I do remember this quite a bit. And back to the Changeling. So, quick story. Aaron actually introduced me to the Changeling not too long ago. And I went into it blind. He knew I was big into haunted house films. He knew I liked Amityville Horror, because we always talked about this film. And then I went into Changeling, I watched it, and I was blown away. I thought it was great. The score was amazing. If you're not into haunted house films, go into it for the score alone because it is very, very good. And George C. Scott is iconic, of course, in pretty much all of his roles. So it's a great film.
Speaking of the Changeling, so I work a corporate day job, and if you guys work at corporate day jobs, and you guys, when you guys have meetings, they like to have these things called icebreakers. They're cringe a lot of the time.
Sure.
But since we were like around the holiday, Halloween holiday, the icebreaker was, ooh, what's one of your favorite scary movies that you would recommend? And of course, I'm like an outlier. And then when it got to me, I said, well, the film I would recommend, I started talking about The Changeling because I think it's really underrated, because I think that was how they positioned it. What's a horror film you think is underrated, you think we shall check out? Yeah. And I said, well, I would say The Changeling, but you guys are probably all going to hate it because it's just a different generation. Like, you guys probably aren't going to like it.
It's slow. It's a slow burn.
It's really slow. And because I already heard all the other movies they were talking about, I'm like, you guys are not going to like The Changeling. But if you could take a slow burn, it's fantastic. And then somebody on the team was like, well, what's it about? And I said, well, it's about a guy. He's recently lost his wife and kid. He takes a new job at a university, and he rents this house that he finds to be haunted. That's a fairly good synopsis.
Yeah.
And I said, and he said, but that's all I said, that's all you really need to know about it. Like, no, but what happens? I'm like, well, there's obviously a story. It's like, you got to watch the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like, you want me to tell you all the story about the Changeling and the ghost and who the ghost is? Like, watch the fucking movie. Like, they wanted me to tell them.
Take the fun out of it.
It's like, no, I gave you enough. That's all they would have given you in like a log line or a synopsis. It's like, go watch it. You want me to tell you the twist? All right. Anyway. Okay, zoom in and we'll read this. Wild Wrangle, the Changeling says the Changeling's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
That ball going down the stairs is iconic.
It is.
It's so simple. It's so effective. It couldn't necessarily be done today because it's a little bit, I guess today would feel like archaic today, but it just, they nail it.
Ghost stories still hold up. I mean, look at The Conjuring. I mean, even if you're not a huge fan of the series, like the first Conjuring was solid in my opinion, but
yeah,
I don't know. So those haunted house films are just, I love them.
Mute says, I saw The Changeling on TV for the first time way back in the 80s. Wow. I can't claim that. I didn't see it in the 80s. Robert, why do we care more than the creators? No one who made this stuff is up at 2:00 in the morning talking about it. Wait, why do we? Is this like a jab at Image 10? That's the way I perceive it. Why do we care more than the creators? No one who made this stuff is up at 2:00 in the morning talking about it.
I know, right?
But hey, you know why I care about the Changeling? Because we want to keep the legacy alive.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Image 10, take note. Anyway, George C. Scott had balls of steel. I would have juggled them. 30 years of ghost hunting has ruined these films for people. It's just, and just also, while Todd mentioned what's it called, Conjuring, which I do like The Conjuring. It's a nice bridge. It's a nice middle ground between sort of old ghost stories, but it's still modernized because they have the jump scares and the jump cuts and all that stuff.
It's not as good, but I'm just
But that's what the modern audience needs.
Yeah.
And and like I've watched many movies with people over the years where I'm like, hey, this is the movie that really scared me. I've literally watched The Changeling with people back in the day. I've watched Amityville Horror back in the day. I've watched these slow burn movies that I felt were really terrifying. And then afterwards they're like, it wasn't scary because they were expecting jump scares.
Yeah.
Like I wanted jump scares. Like, you want jumps? Like, pay attention to the fucking movie, man. This shit's creepy.
Yeah, you really got to know your audience because my wife wouldn't enjoy it. But
I'm glad I went into The Changeling without knowing spoilers. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, it is. And I don't know what the jump scare thing is weird to me. It's like you need someone to stimulate you, basically. Because you need your attention. You need to be that stimulant. It's like that dopamine hit. I need to be hit with something. Like, you don't, because it is kind of hard these days to just pay attention and really kind of fall into the vibe the movie's setting and the atmosphere. All right, so let's read this. The old dark house, a place where evil resides, an element common to countless films of gothic horror, but seldom used to such good effects as in The Changeling, an independently made Canadian film recently released in the US. For the most part, The Changeling is a conventional ghost tale raised to art by the performances of veteran actors George C. Scott and Melvin Douglas and Peter Medak's fine direction. In the film, John Russell Scott is an honor composer and music teacher whose life comes near to falling apart when he witnesses the violent death of his wife and young daughter in a road accident. In an effort to escape the memories of tragedy, Russell moves to Seattle, where he rents an historic old mansion, planning to immerse himself in his work. On his very first night in the mansion, Russell's sleep is disturbed by inexplicable sounds and a silent presence that seems to move through the upper rooms. With the aid of an employee at the local historical society, Claire Norman, Trish Van Devere, Russell learns that the house bears a legacy of death. Okay. After discovering a sealed attic room, Russell arranges for a seance to be held, believing that the murdered child's spirit is attempting to communicate with him. During the seance and the events that follow, he learns that Joseph Carmichael Melvin Douglas, a Seattle politician of great power and influence, was somehow involved in the murder of a child in the 70 years before. I feel like they're giving too much to the story.
They are.
I feel like you don't really need I think that first little page over there, that's all you should. That's enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, the road to success for Peter Medak. It's been a long and winding road to his first commercially successful U.S. release. Hungarian-born, Medak says that he first developed the desire to make great films at a very early age. The first great obstacle of his career came when he was just 13. My father was a so-called capitalist, recalls Medak, and was jailed by the communists. So I was no longer allowed to attend school. Since then, I've been entirely self-educated. Hungary's state-controlled film industry offered little opportunity for a capitalist son. It wasn't until Medak found political refuge in England that he took his first real step as in a film career. In 1956, at the age of 17, with almost no formal education, a bare grasp of English, and no film training whatsoever, Medak started working on Elstree Studios as an assistant film editor. Years of hard work, various blah 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 blah, including Hammers. He was a second unit director for major British films the early 60s, including Hammer's Phantom of the Opera, David Lean's Lawrence of Arabia, Elizabeth Taylor's remake of Cleopatra. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Worked on the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. So I have to say something. I don't have to read the rest of this. It's just sort of, this story, if you guys have ever seen The Haunting of Julia or Full Circle, right? Whatever you call it, right? Full Circle is the alternate title, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's very similar.
Yeah, they're back to back. I mean, you can watch them back to back.
Even down to like they have a seance done, right, in the house and all that stuff. And there's a dead kid, and we got to unravel like what happened to this kid. It's very similar. The skin is the same. Obviously, this one's more involving politicians. So they changed some stuff around. They're both very, very good movies, though. All right, Friday the 13th. Robert, my word. I saw The Changeling. I think it's overrated.
Wow. Okay.
I can understand it. Some
people don't like the slow burn. Yeah, but
yeah, I like it to burn.
I mean, look at these images, though. I mean, these images are pretty cool for Fangoria.
I like it to burn. I want to feel it on the inside. All right. Anyway, so Friday the 13th, the Day of Terror. Go ahead and zoom in on this if you don't mind. Director, producer, writer Sean Cunningham, interviewed by Bob Martin. In 1973, Last House on the Left created a small sensation among horror movie addicts, made on the minuscule budget of a plot lifted from one of the Ingmar Bergman's early art films, The Virgin Spring. The film is the bizarre story of a brutal sexual murder and the savage retribution meted out by the victim's parents. It shows the capabilities for ugliness that the human animal possesses, says Sean Cunningham, producer and co-writer of the cult classic Wes Craven's Last House. Wes Craven and I collaborated on it with the idea to make the scariest film possible on a budget that was, just laughable. We had looked around at what was being done. There were the Clint Eastwood movies with about 300 people being killed, but that wasn't scary. That was just bang, bang, you're dead. Then there was those AIP films with Vincent Price. They were mostly escapist costume dramas, so we made this film about a kid napping and a couple of murders. The budget was very narrow, and we were just figuring out how to make a feature film. So our film technique had to be primitive, but that primitive style really helped in a way because the film took on a newsreel verite look, as if it were a documentary of those ghastly events. So it's a terribly disturbing piece of film, but it plays and plays and plays, usually at colleges. Perhaps some of the attraction is that most people feel like they can make the film themselves. I get that. I feel when you see a movie, it's like, yeah, I could do this.
The POV movie, yeah.
That's why everybody flocked to the found footage too. All of 7 years later, Cunningham had completed his second Fright film, Friday the 13th, this time filling the triple role of producer, director, and writer. Not that Cunningham has not been active in film. He's since directed 2 films, Here Come the Tigers and Manny's Orphans, both wholesome family fare. Have you ever seen those?
No.
It would have been easy to finance a horror film long before this, Cunningham explains. Hollywood has this terrible tendency to pigeonhole you, though, and after The Last House, I was hoping that would lead to more feature work or a more serious nature. But because of that picture, people would only think of us when they had something really sick or disgusting or otherwise awful for us to do. I was trying to develop some projects that were not son of Last House, and it wasn't easy. Yeah.
And there was supposed to be a Last House 2, but that never got made. I think Friday 13th Part 2 came out instead, or 2 or 3 with Sean Cunningham. So, but that would have been interesting to see a Last House 2.
Mute says younger people miss out on the zeitgeist of the time movies like this came out during. You just can't recreate it. So I understand why some people think it's boring now. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
dude, even if we don't want to admit it, not we're even victims by it. We're victims by these. Like, I cannot be on my phone while I'm watching something, but if I'm watching something with ads, yeah, I don't want to watch the fucking ads. I'll check my phone, but that's part of it, right? So it's had impacts on me too, even if I don't want to admit it. But let's see. I've tried to show it to my younger relatives. Boring. It's a Dave Mustaine quote. Oh well, yeah. I mean, it just is what it is. It does feel like a kick in the nuts though when you're so hyped on something and you're like, oh, I want to show you this.
It's definitely acquired.
And then they just don't get it. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
Satan says love Rosemary's Baby, but Mutineer says like, he got a similar results from Rosemary's Baby. Yeah, it's just a different time, dude. I don't think a lot of kids would like The Omen. I feel like The Exorcist might have a chance because there's enough shock in The Exorcist, possibly. I mean, I know it's not in the original cut, but like the spider walk down the stairs, that's almost like a jump scare. The way that cuts really fast, holy shit! Like, so yeah. No one in my house likes Wicker Man. Oh, Wicker Man's fantastic.
I love Wicker Man too.
They don't even like the Nick Cage, the bass. Okay. Non-horror success. Cunningham did meet with some success with his non-horror projects, especially with Manny's Children, the tale of an out-of-work soccer coach whose trouble with the mob, the result of unpaid gambling debts, is ultimately resolved through the efforts of the soccer team. What the fuck? An inner city orphanage. United Artists picked up the rights to the film and may develop it into a TV series, but Cunningham's return to horror is easily explained. The simple truth is that I need a hit film, says Cunningham. So few people survive at all in the business making any kind of film. It's all very nice to talk about cinema, but the truth of the matter is that Friday the 13th seems to be a strong commercial property, and I think now is the right time for it. He was right. It defined a generation, defined a decade. The plot of F-13 is simplicity itself and largely a showcase for the extraordinary effects work of Tom Savini. Let's see here. 6 camp counselors gather to reopen Camp Crystal Lake, closed for several years because of 3 deaths that have led local townspeople to believe the camp is cursed. One counselor never even reaches the grounds while hitchhiking. She accepts a ride from the wrong person and pays for her mistake with a slashed throat. That night, the 6 counselors on the grounds continue with various teenage pursuits, like a game of strip Monopoly, while they're exterminated one by one. After 4 deaths by knife, arrow, and hatchet, the 2 remaining counselors, Alice and Bill, realize that something strange is afoot, but the phone is.
The phone is dead.
Oh, I can't believe they actually let us finish it. Okay. Go ahead and zoom in quite a bit if you don't mind. Okay. but the phone is dead and someone's tampered with the engine of the camp's pickup truck. They're giving away a lot. I mean, there's not really substance. This is really a generic plot, but like, why are they giving away like everybody that's fucking dying, who's left? And it's kind of weird. All right, Cunningham feels that Friday the 13th is not entirely a return to brutal horror tactics of Last House. If you examine it, Last House on the left was sort of a cynical edge to it, says Cunningham in comparing the two films. It seems to say, you want horror? Well, here's real horror. Friday the 13th, on the other hand, is a roller coaster ride, a funhouse sort of thing. It's the same sort of thing as when you're 8 and you hide in your bushes when your sister comes home. You jump out of the bushes to scare her, and then you laugh. It's just amusing for me to sit on a screening and watch the audience jump. So this is one of the main reasons why I don't love Last House on the Left. Like a lot of people love Last House on the Left.
One of the main reasons I do love it.
But I'm saying like it's exactly what he's kind of getting at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like movies that are mean-spirited.
I love the realism of that. That's why I like Cannibal Holocaust so much too, man.
Cannibal Holocaust it's a really well-made movie, but I'm saying more often than not, but I know what he's saying. I'd rather Friday the 13th isn't mean-spirited. You know, it's fun.
Last House is a hard watch, but I still love it, and I still go back to it all the time.
The squirm factor. At some of the film's early screenings, Cunningham found that the audiences were not just jumping. They were starting to squirm a bit too much for his taste. Tom Savini is so good at what he does, Cunningham says, and the effects that we use for this picture are so good that you find yourself wanting to leave in more of an effect scene that you should to get a strong shock effect. It can go over the border of shock. Gore itself isn't scary. It's disgusting. In the editing process, you only see it as a special effect, and you get a little jaded. As it turned out, we shot an awful lot more of the effects than we used in the picture. Cunningham would certainly be among the first to admit that the financial success of Romero's Dawn of the Dead and Carpenter's Halloween is a major reason for the making of F-13. Most viewers will find an especially striking resemblance between Friday the 13th, I'm going to guess it says Halloween. Oh, to be continued? Oh, you fuckers. That's okay. Fuck this. Let's go and skip this. Vincent Price. Let's just look at these pictures. Come on, man. I want to see some pictures, dude.
Sorry.
I'm not going to read this, but let's look at these pictures. I think Vincent Price is cool.
Oh, absolutely.
He's an OG. Price singers in the background with Peter Lorre. Yeah, directing Corman for the axe duel scene in The Raven. Wow, it's wild looking at young Roger Corman.
Yeah.
Oh, it is kind of interesting that he's doing an interview. Fangoria, they're actually doing a legit interview. It's like, how did you begin acting for Roger Corman in the Poe films? Did he ask you to be in the House of Usher? Oh, no. It was just a job. I guess AIP had hired him and they hired me. Did he talk like that in his real life?
I have no idea.
Did you like the script? Yes, I liked it a lot. Okay, we can skip this. Roger Corman's is Roger Corman still hanging on, or did he die?
I think he's dead, but don't.
I feel like if he died, it was in the last couple of years. The last few years have been a bit of a blur. So let's see. Oops, sorry about that. I'm gonna catch up here. Why is it that icons of horror only use horror to try and get into the storylines? The grape scene looks so real. Whew. Yeah, I just don't sit well with that shit. I love the movie Squirm. I have fond memory. I've never seen Squirm.
You haven't seen that?
No, Squirm and Slugs are guilty pleasures of mine.
Yeah, they're good.
Squirm was on TV when I was 7. I didn't want to go fishing for a while. All right. Oh, he did die. When did he die? Was it somewhat recently, like last 5 years? All right. So this one I do want to go over. Go ahead and zoom in on it. Oh, back when Stephen King was eating good. All right. Providence, Rhode Island, the birthplace of H.P. Lovecraft, seems the appropriate town in which to hold a gathering of artists, writers, filmmakers, and specialized in fantasy and macabre, blah, 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 blah. Considering the popular and critical acclaim of both men received in the work of the respective media, it's not surprising to learn that the two are mutual admirers. King, at 32, the best-selling author in horror tales in the world, was dressed at the time in a t-shirt bearing the legend #1 in recognition of the placement of his newest novel, The Dead Zone, at the top of the New York Times bestseller list. Romero is a tall, barrel-chested man in his mid-40s and was dressed even more casually in work shirt and blue jeans, full bearded, as King sometimes is on his books, dust jackets. Romero could very well pass as a gym instructor at the same school where King used to be an English teacher. Neither men give any outward sign of being overwhelmed by their enormous critical or financial successes of the field. Go down just a little bit. I'm going to kind of skip bullshit parts, so you know. According to King, the thing about horror films is that there are as many good ones as there are. You wouldn't think that there would be. There's such a tendency to play it safe, isn't there? He laughs when Romero asks for the screenplay at a creep show. Oh, so it's not out yet. He's working on it. You wouldn't think there would be. There's such a tendency. He laughs when Romero asks him for the screenplay at a creep show. I'm very embarrassed about that because the screenplay is all done and it's sitting on the dresser. It's just like showbiz. In regards to the filming of The Stand, King continues, I guess I never really had to consider The Stand as a movie, seriously. Then George and Richard Rubenstein came up, and they were out in Hollywood after doing Dawn of the Dead and talking to people, and they go up. So yeah, this is like when they're just kind of putting that together. They kept saying, what about The Stand? And people would say, you can't do that. It's huge. And George and Richard would say, but have you read it? And they'd say, no, it's huge. This is a ridiculous way to approach a project for the movie. So you have to wonder if they were reading it at all. What the studios balked at essentially is this: The Dead Zone is a one character book. There's a guy named Johnny Smith, and he is the book. Everything revolves around him. He is the story, and everything about him is setting for the story. But The Stand has no essential hero. There's Stu Redman. There's Nick. Go down if you don't mind. Sorry, this one's gonna be annoying for me to have you scroll down. Andros, there's all these other people, and yet you've got all these people. You can't handle it on film. But on the other hand, Francis Ford Coppola did that with The Godfather. Horrific collaboration. Leaning back in his chair, Romero constantly nods in agreement with King's statements. Their collaboration is certainly logical in one sense. King's stories and novels are known for having the most unspeakable terrors taking place amongst people next door in any place USA. While all of Romero's films, no matter how auteur the subject matter, ghouls, biological warfare, vampires, all have taken place in the same mundane and mostly ordinary of surroundings. The settings of Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, the Crazies, Martin, small towns and cities on the East Coast differ little except by name from the basically ordinary settings of King's novels. That's why I'm attracted to a lot of Steve's stuff, Romero steadily admits. I also find that in The Stand, a lot of the social significance, if you will. Although on the surface, we're just out to make a movie, and what sort of horror director appeals to Romero as a writer-director, he asks. It's hard to pinpoint. It's such a personal thing. I like to have a certain kind of logic and a certain kind of craft and a certain integrity to the form, to the genre. I tend to be a little bit more outrageous and a little more go down.
A little more.
No, I know it sounds cliche, socio-political. The Crazies is very political up front, but even with the Dead films, there's a socio-political underbelly to them. I feel things like that. I like things like that, and I like satire. I really haven't tried to make a scary movie since Night of the Living Dead. None of the others are really scary movies. Romero explains that to the viewers who found Dawn of the Dead to be no longer frightening after the first 10 minutes. That was precisely the point when he first planned the film. I don't think Dawn of the Dead's scary at all. It's not really scary. No. Dawn of the Dead isn't a scare film. It's a shock film. It's satire, and to me, it's funny. It's in the genre, but it's not in the pure form. Neither is Martin. In fact, none of them are, except for Night of the Living Dead, which, while it has its socio-political, philosophical underside to it, on the surface, it's pure horror film. And even Dawn of the Dead surface, it's just a movie. It's just not a scary horror movie. Studio backing. Although Romero has made his reputation of sort of a maverick producer, producing his own films without major studio backing, the success of Dawn finally had the studio seeking him out. Yet Romero is hesitant as to what sort of creative control might be lost, gaining either a large financial backing or a solid distribution package for The Stand. Although he did not mention anyone by name, Romero cited several examples. So what happened with Romero and The Stand? I have no idea. So they're talking about that collaboration. So they're not even really talking about they're not even talking about Creepshow. No. But clearly
Creepshow's 81, right?
But clearly he has the script done. He just hasn't read it yet. Okay, so independent directors who were hired by a major Hollywood studio to do films had one box office failure and were never heard from again. So he was hesitant, obviously. Overall, he's still optimistic about his own chances. I'm very excited about The Stand. We're going to try and produce that with or without the studio's involvement. There might be some studio involvement up front, but it's a lot different when you go to a studio and say, this movie is going to cost $10 million and you already have $6 million. and getting that first 6 doesn't involve the studios at all. But Romero does foresee major studio involvement at some point in his career, either with a project he has brought to Hollywood or with a project established studios wish him to direct. The Creep Show The Creep Show is an anthology. So it's in the play. I think one part was originally a short story, but whether it was previously published or not, I don't know whether I've seen the script. Steve and I just had a couple of very broad conversations, just kind of respecting each other's jobs in regards to what each of us is going to do. And Steve just said, terrific. And I'll see you again when it's ready. I really look forward to reading it, even though I know what it's like, what it's intended to be. Hopes for screen credit. It's hoped that a credit, which reads screenplay by Stephen King, will be appearing eventually on the screen. Carrie and Salem's Lot were both adapted by Paul Menace, while Stanley Kubrick rejected King's screenplay for The Shining. It's funny, for his own version. Nor has a screenplay sold to NBC television for the Night Shift collection gone from beyond the pre-production stage. Yet, being the prolific writer that he is, Fangoria was not too surprised to learn that King was still other screenplays in the hands of independent producers. Last winter, King says, a group of guys from Maine expressed interest in a screenplay I wrote, Children of the Corn, from a story in Night Shift. It seemed to them that it could be made into a movie. They're a very small group called Varied Directions, and the guy who will be directing it is named David Hoffman, who's done a lot of stuff for public TV. Basically, the problem with the major studios was that they looked at this thing and said, this is no good because it'll be a low budget picture. What we want from you is something big, a big picture. Their idea is if you make a picture, it's got to cost $7 million if you're gonna make it 20 million. If you're going to make 20 million. So they want that like 2.5 times budget. So they were really having trouble finding backing for the film. They estimated would make only $1 million to make. It'll be very low budget. It'll be all exteriors, all unknowns. That's the way it was always planned. So in the midst of all this comes John Carpenter's Halloween and Dawn of the Dead and a lot of other pictures. Dawn of the Dead is just the opposite of Prophecy. It's a $2 million movie that looks like a $12 million movie. And all at once it opens up and they've got their financing. They're going to Iowa next year to shoot the picture, but this crazy idea that you don't spend a lot of money, you're not going to get something good. King shakes his head in bewilderment. Go down. Todd needs some coffee.
Well, dude, I mean, it's almost 2 a.m.
We got to finish it, dude. I know. I'm sorry. I know. All right. First Love. Both men have a long love with horror movies. It's that love that dates back to their childhood days. Nonetheless, King thinks Prophecy was a 12 million film that looks like Frankenhelmer made it for $500,000. It was not just a turkey. It looked cheap, but I saw it 3 times. He laughs. If you love horror movies, you've got to have a love for pure shit. Hey, that's a great quote. They should put that on a lot of other movies. This is not an aspersion. This is not an aspersion on anyone in the company, but you turn into the kind of person you would watch Attack of the Crab Monsters 4 times. You know how shitty it is, but there's something about that appeals to you. It doesn't mean you don't want it to be better. Romero admits he too went to Prophecy expecting a lot more than what was delivered, and felt that he had to go see it because it was produced by a major studio. Elaborating on his earliest influences, Romero states, when I was growing up in the 1940s, genre movies were what was around. The double bills on weekends, but I loved all the genre movies. Jungle movies, war movies, and horror movies were it. The first one that I think had a real influence on me was Howard Hawks' The Thing, which I carried around for a couple of years in my psyche. Roman Polanski's work also had an effect on me. I'll say the same thing Steve said. I like to watch junk. I do like to watch it, and I always opt for that. Always. Some people forget that what movies are: a popular form and enjoyment at the heart of the form. Nice. I appreciate that. They can appreciate
I love junk.
Yeah, I really like that quote about the shit. Okay, we can skip Apes of Wrath, guys. Through the Halls of Hammer. We'll just look at the stills. That's pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, that's cool, dude.
Looks like Pazuzu hanging by the belt around his neck. Go ahead and skip the next page. I'm going to do a couple comments. Yeah, kind of skim these. Let's see here.
C3PO.
Oh, we're continuing the C3PO now?
Yeah.
Let's see.
We already looked at the trading post last week.
Yeah, it's always the same. You want to buy a Rocky 2 poster book, dude? It's the same book. Oh, see more Caroline. Let's see Caroline Monroe. We already got some skin pics of her on last issue, man. They're really milking her dry, dude. Actually, that fucking ape looks pretty sick in the bottom left.
That's Bottin, right?
Yeah, it's fucking sick. Looks really good.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Hey, that was the rat he was talking about. Was in Bottin's house. Go up, go to the left, the top right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Rock and Roll High School.
Okay, go forward.
Science fiction records.
North by Northwest. This is North by Northwest science fiction. Can't we just call it a thriller? It's like a thriller, dude.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead's not science. I guess technically, but yeah, I feel like just like horror was like a dirty word for a long time. It's like everything was like sci-fi. Oh, look, here we go. We got first Jason there. Let's see here.
What is he? Braces, dude?
Probably. He looks like I don't know. I never thought this at Ari was it Ari Lerman?
Yeah.
Whatever his last name is.
I'm grabbing a drink. Go
ahead. I don't really think I'll read some comments. I don't think the kid Jason looks very good. I never thought he looked good. Todd wants to comment, but he'll have to wait. Let's see here. Oh, I was right, dude. Yeah. So Roger Corman died just last year. I thought maybe it was recent if he was dead. Sometimes it feels like it's like a dream. For a while, it felt like Corman would be eternal. Roger Corman. That's right. Okay. So wait for Todd to get back in here, because I was right about Corman. So I was right about Corman. They said he died just last year in 2024, and that he was so he was 98. So it seemed like he was just around forever.
Wow. Okay.
It's like, did he actually die? Yeah, he looked good for his age. Now, Silence of the Lambs is always a little sad during Corman and Romero's cameos. Yeah, in the museum or whatever. Satan True. Is the Crazies God? You mean good? I don't like the Crazies. Todd likes the Crazies. Robert says only a couple issues in the Fangoria, and we're talking about Romero again. Well, I'll take it. Yeah, it's not varied. And we're talking about Stephen King again. You know?
Stephen King, Romero, and there's a Savini. Yeah, Savini.
They act like they're just now talking about Hammer for the first time, but they brought up Hammer a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I remember Dawn being more suspenseful than scary during initial viewings. I really didn't want the zombies to catch anyone. Say the remake of The Crazies is more entertaining.
No, I wouldn't say that.
So I remember being very on edge. I need to watch the OG and the remake. In Dawn, it always felt like a total disaster, just one tiny slip up away. I love Dawn. I think it's great. Yeah, it's never too scary. The characters are just too fun.
Because like fun, the zombies are fun.
The setting is fun. Yeah. They look like they're having a great time for a while, you know. Crazies is okay. It's more like a dry run for Dawn than anything, though.
It is 100%.
Robert says Stephen King would know about shit. When he's talking about he loves shit, you're right. See, Stephen King was always about volume. Yeah, he had great stuff, but like he was just like Boomhauer on King of the Hill, going to the women's shoe store and hitting on every single woman that came in, and he was always going home with somebody because it was all about a numbers game. He hit on like 200 women a day and got declined 199 of them. That's Stephen King's batting average. He was on fire in his Coke days, dude. He really was. Good to know. I like the Kid Jason too. Kid Jason coming out of the lake is perfect. Agree, it's creepy. Stephen King in real life is crazy. I just thought it always looked derpy. I like the ending is cool. Like it's a classic ending and whatever. And I'm sure at the time it was fucking wild.
I love this dude. Savini and his creation, discover a family resemblance.
God, dude, look why look at him in the picture right next to that. He cut his bangs, dude.
Yeah.
Terrible. Get a haircut, hippie. Okay. All right.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. You know that guy, the Ari there, he looks like Kimmy Gibbler's boyfriend in the later episodes of Full House. Whatever. Dwayne, dude. He looks just like Dwayne.
Oh,
whatever. All right, what do we got here? More Savini. Look, they continue the Changeling. I want to kind of skim this real quick. I won't read it, but I just want to say Oh, Robert, you've already kind of told me how you kind of feel politically. I get it. Stephen King's like ultra fucking liberal to the point where he is
kind of crazy,
insane, absolutely insane. He needs to get out more. You can tell
just the fact that he thinks The Shining, the book, is better than the movie, which is not.
Stephen King, like there's never photos of him in public. I don't think he ever leaves his house in Maine. I think he's like Howard Hughes, and he has been for like years.
Pissing in jugs, dude.
Probably. Yeah, but Changeling, guys, buy our ticket. What brings us 1980? The Changeling, though Medak claims no particular fondness for horror films other than Universal's. See, Medak didn't even like horror movies. Medak agreed to direct The Changeling for one simple reason. At this point in my career, I want very much to make a film that will be a commercial success in America. What's always people just want to make horror because they want to fucking hit. I guess times haven't changed. Medak candidly relates. It's nice to make films with some social relevance. You first have to buy your ticket. I really would like for some kind of midway so I can make a more civilized sort of picture that people will go and see. A friend of mine said I should make Hamlet on roller skates. So he wants to make this so we can have a hit, so we can make something he really gives a shit about. I mean, people have been using horror as a stepping stool for decades. And the guy fucking made one of the greats. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move along, actually. But you know what? This is elevated horror before the term elevated horror.
Yeah.
It's respectable. It's not schlock. It's like a real movie. Count Fangoria. Okay. The fuck? Yeah, that looks like the Smurf dude.
Oh,
what's the bad guy in the Smurf? I can never remember that guy's name, dude. Go ahead and skip.
I have no clue.
Okay, more future Starlog BS. Okay, this is all fan. Look, Doug Beekman. This is all.
We better.
Yeah, go.
Just kidding.
I really do like all that fantasy art. It's really cool. It's just not my thing. What are we doing here? Mad Max Monster Invasion. Go up. I just want to skim what they're talking about. It's coming soon. I think that that Mad Max art is fucking sick. I just don't like Mad Max. I like that. That's a fucking iconic like pose. Ready for the 80s. Mad Max poised to attack, and right, Sheena swings back into action. I just want to see Mad Max. In the 80s, Law and Order has become a thing of the past, and cops are forced to meet brutality with brutality as biker gangs forge new frontiers of lawlessness. Bitter over the death of his partner at the hands of a biker named Toe Cutter, Max Rocketinsky quits the force in order to lead a more peaceful life. When Toe Cutter strikes again, killing Max's wife and child, Max takes the vengeance trail. Made in Australia, this low-budget, high-action film is likely candidate for the status of cult classic and will soon be released in the U.S. by AIP. I mean, they called it. It really did become a cult classic. It's never been into it. Humanoids from the Deep. Not a big fan of Humanoids from the Deep. Scanners. Scanners ain't it. I love Cronenberg, but it's just fucking boring. Go up.
It's mid.
I wish I liked it. I hate it because I wish I liked all of Cronenberg's classic movies because I would love to own them, but I just don't like Scanners. You know, I think Scanners had like a 6-second site release, right? I didn't buy it. Short takes. The next Fear Fest from Toby Hooper will be distributed by Universal. It's called Funhouse. Last issue was mentioned that Peter Cushing had signed for the picture about modern Satanism. What? Oh, for a picture of modern Satanism. Okay, go down. This is just like quick tidbits. I want him to talk more about Funhouse, but Knights, no thanks. Carpenter's next. Don't worry about the Thing. John Carpenter's next. Reports on what Carpenter will be doing next have conflicted with the last few. Don't worry about a Thing. Oh, it's gonna be the Thing, I guess. Go up. So that's cool. Fade to Black, cool. The man who made the film history and asked John Carpenter to make a fright film about babysitters and Halloween is producing another shocker. This one's about a film buff who loses his grip and can no longer distinguish between reality and the movies. Writing and directing is Vernon Zimmerman, whose high-action sports epic Unholy Rollers is sometimes referred to as Hell's Angels on Skates.
I always love that movie.
This is another guy that wasn't doing horror, that was doing war. Fade to Black is fantastic. It's a very early, if not his first, Mickey Rourke's role. Mickey Rourke's in that.
Watch in the Woods. Don't Go in the House. I really love this film too.
Okay. Merlin and the Knights of King Arthur. National Lampoon's Jaws 3 People O. That's a movie. Jaws 3 People 0. It's just a The second film project from the producers of Animal House has died a quiet death. Oh, official word from Universal says the comedy sequel at the time is likely to lessen the commercial value of the Jaws name. So they were going to lampoon that. Okay, interesting. Friday 13th, of course. Classified ads. Go down. What do we got here? Yeah, okay. Robert Shivers is crap too. I'm not a big fan of Shivers.
Shivers either.
I'm not a big Shivers guy. And I think Rabid is a big step up from Shivers, but I don't even think I love Rabid a lot. But it's definitely a step up from Shivers.
Death Dream's good too. I like Death Dream quite a bit.
Not a fan of Shivers. Bought the Steelbook. It's funny, like out of context, your comment. Hell yeah, Satanism. Say Shivers was trying to be over the top, but it was really boring. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't do a lot for it. It's clearly a first feature. Like I said, I don't think he got. Now that I've seen The Brood, now I know that's where he got good. That's where the switch turned on. The Brood.
And Brood's awesome.
All right, classifies. We got anything here? More catalogs, more merchandise. Robbie the Robot Blueprint. Maybe Image 10 should fucking put classifieds in Fangoria
there
today to sell their fucking merch, dude. Fucking dickheads.
Good segue there. I like that.
It's not really a segue. We talked about it 3 hours ago.
Well, it's a good shit talk segue. I don't know.
Yeah. Japanese Fantasy Film Society. Is this like squid prawn? Okay, go ahead and Rocky. It's funny how Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's funny to me that built a cult fan base so fast. Like after, you know what I mean? Like there was already shit about Rocky Horror stuff in there that we were just reading. But yeah, let's go ahead. I think we're just approaching the end. That's the last of the Bottin stuff. Go ahead and
the special effects. This is one of the magazines that got me into horror right here. This volume 2, and it had a lot of like the still photos of Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that. And I got that from one of my big sisters. He gave that to me, and I rebought it on eBay probably years ago for a couple bucks. And I just love it, man. It brings back so many memories.
Nice.
And there's the jacket.
And you guys can own a sweet kick-ass Star Trek duty jacket if you guys are trying to get laid. This is what's going to put you over the edge. Or just have you edging yourself. You know, whatever happens, at least you'll have a sweet Star Trek duty jacket.
Hey, I'd rock it.
I'm sure you would. All right, guys. Well, this is fun. I have to say, this is the longest fucking stream we've done.
Oh, yeah.
One of the longest, if not the longest ever. You know, we usually sometimes we go an hour and a half. Lately, we've been hitting 2 hours, 3.5 hours. Jesus. But I want to say thank you guys for joining us. And many of you guys have stayed on the whole time. We appreciate you keeping us company. We certainly wouldn't have kept going if you guys weren't here. So we appreciate you. Yeah, man. And all I could say is I don't know what we're doing with this as far as the edit. With the Fango Fridays, we've been kind of clipping them to start at Fango Friday. It kind of feels like a shame because it's been kind of proven to be a bit of incentive to join the streams because some of the stuff kind of gets lost because we just clip it. But I know we're going to be clipping a lot of what we talked about. But
I'll clip it. I'll clip both of them. So I'll have back to back, but 2 different videos. So just do that.
All right. So hopefully this will all be retained in a way. So
I'll retain it.
What he's saying is this will be retained in stream form, and maybe the front half will be its own video.
Yeah, it will.
But it's been an incredibly fun chat, guys. We appreciate you. Wild Wrangler, thank you so much. Satan, you've been here the whole time. Mutineer. Robert, you've been here since you were waiting in the queue for us to start. Thank you so much.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, everybody who's been in, have a great night. And stay tuned next Wednesday. Members only commentary. We are doing Planet Terror. And if you guys want to join the membership, a couple dollars a month, it supports us, goes a long way. Like I said, we're not shilling a bunch of fucking partnerships and stuff like that. But anybody that wants to support us any extra, we do those members only commentaries for you. And you also gain access to all the ones we've done in the past. And Friday, of course, we're gonna do Fango Friday again. So this one's good. I like this one.
And we also have a interview coming down the pipe too. I mean, that's in the works right now.
We have an interview?
Yeah, I did get a response back.
Oh, okay.
Won't mention anything, but yeah.
All right, guys. Catch you. Hope to see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Big thanks to the Revival House family. Your loyalty fuels our obsession with horror and lets us uncover the darkest, most twisted gems just for you. If you're not a member yet, consider joining the cult today. You'll get early access to videos, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes scares you won't find anywhere else. Until next time, this is Revival House, your home for horror. And remember, we'll leave the house lights off for you.